All right, welcome back to the Poker Model Hand Breakdown. Today we're going to get into a hand with Jack 10 of spades, and I'm sitting on the cutoff +2. I have 16,000 chips. The blinds are 2-4, which means that I have 40 big blinds. Again, same idea. 40 big blinds is a medium stack. 20 big blinds or less is a short stack. 50 big blinds or more is a large stack. So I'm in that medium stack range, which means I can play a few more hands than I would if I had a short stack. Let's see how the action comes around. I just want to, at this point in the hand, I'm already thinking if there's a raise in front of me, I'm going to fold. And if there's no raise in front of me, I'm going to raise. And if you go to thepokermodel.com, you'll see those hand ranges and what you should do as a result. Let's see what happens here. All right, the action folds to me. And just as I mentioned before, I'm going to come into this pot raising. Now, we can give you a specific group of hands that you would make this exact play with. Just saying it off the top of my head, it's any two cards over 7, any ace, any pocket pair at all, and suited connectors over 6, and then also a hand like 9-7 suited or 10-7 suited. So I want you to recognize that if the action folds to you and you have over 20 big blinds, specifically with that range of hands, you would make this raise. You would fold all other hands. So there's no scenario that could play out where you wouldn't know what to do in this situation with this hand. So because this falls into the any two cards over 7, I have over 20 big blinds and the action is folded to me, I make a raise to 800. All right, so my raise was meant to isolate the hand and give me control on the flop. But as you can see here, I received a call from the cutoff +1, a call from the button, and also a call from the big blind. So there's a lot more people in this pot, but I still think we need to see the flop before we really know what to do. So let's go to the flop. All right, the flop comes ace-9-2, and the big blind checks over to me. So in previous videos, we've talked about continuation bets a lot. And we've said that when I'm the one raising pre-flop and the action comes back on me, I should make a continuation bet to win the pot right now. It's going to be about half the pot. But this hand is a little bit different because we don't just have one other player in the hand. We don't even have one player just behind us. There's actually 2 players to act after the continuation bet and also one in the big blind. So again, when I qualify my hand here, I have third pair or worse, which is a bad hand. Usually I would make a continuation bet to win the pot right now. But because there are 2 players on my left, it's just much more likely that one of them has something that they would call my continuation bet with, something that would really kind of ruin my chances of winning the pot right now. So what we do in this situation, and here's a rule that you can use. If there are 2 players to your left and you were going to make a continuation bet with a bad hand, just check instead. Don't waste that initial bet. Know that most of the time someone's going to be making some sort of call with maybe it's an ace, a 9, who knows, 3-4. People call with really any 2 cards here sometimes, and it's called a float. A float is really when you're calling just to kind of catch that continuation bet to win the pot later. But anyways, the purpose of this article is to make sure that if there's 2 people to your left, you check here instead of making a continuation bet. So for these reasons, I check. There's another check to the player on my left, and the button makes a bet of 3,000. So really, I've kind of given up on this hand because there are people on my left involved, and I didn't make a good flop. I had a bad hand. So when I see the 3,000 chip bet, I give up, I fold, and I move on to the next hand.